Melodic grooves and textured harmonies is the heartbeat of the soul. Lyrically, emotionally, and powerful is what we love. It's Indie Soul Saturday, only on Source Radio Network.
Good afternoon, Source Nation. I'm your host, Destine Hicks. I want to welcome you all to Indie Soul Saturdays. Today I have an amazing show planned for you guys and an amazing guest by the name of Sam Hankins. That's in the studio with me today that will be discussing his journey, music, upcoming projects, and much, much more. But before I go any further, let me thank our sponsors who have made this show possible, and they are Zulina Health, Wellness, and Fitness, Paper 2 Film Productions, Revolution Meals, and Renovations. Source Nation, as I stated earlier, I have an amazing show planned for you guys and an amazing artist in the studio, the award-winning jazz artist, band director, professional trumpet player, composer, and indie artist, smooth jazz with a unique sound, Mr. Sam Hankins himself. So don't hesitate to call in at 619-924-0933. And make sure you press the option 1. Let me know that you're here. If you have any questions, would like to make a comment, want to ask Mr. Hankins anything, just call in and let us know. First Nation, we're going to take a quick break. And after the break, Mr. Sam Hankins will be in the studio with me. So stay tuned.
Source Nation, you're listening to Indie Soul Saturday.
Radio Network is just one of the many platforms that is used to fulfill dreams of our listeners and create a purpose that will impact the lives of our communities, cities, and the world. It is often said that great things will happen when a group of driven people work together to accomplish one goal. We're giving people the opportunity to have a voice, translate words that haven't been heard, and paint pictures that no one has seen. Source Radio Network is fueling your life's purpose. How can you listen? www.blogtalkradio.com/Source Radio.
Welcome back, Source Nation. You're listening to Indie Soul Saturday.
Source Nation, welcome back to Indie Soul Saturdays with me, your host, Destiny Hicks. As I stated before the break, I have an amazing guest by the name of Sam Hankins in the studio with me. So while Mr. Hankins is being mic'd up, let me tell you a little bit about him. Mr. Hankins himself was born into a musical family, began at a young age playing the guitar, then switched and made his trademark trumpet in middle school and began playing in churches. professional bands, and orchestras. Now, Mr. Hankins himself is a jazz artist, award-winning jazz artist at that. Band director, trumpet player, composer, indie artist, smooth jazz, and unique sound player. We have Sam Hankins in the studio with us now. I do believe that Sam is all ready to go and all mic'd up. Sam, how are you?
Well, I am doing wonderful. After an introduction like that, wow, I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Before we go any further, I just want to thank you for finding that robbery to join us on the show today. It's such a great honor to have you on this afternoon.
Well, thank you. No, the pleasure is all mine. I really appreciate you taking the time out, listen to what I have to say and get a chance to know you. And, hey, I just appreciate it. I really do.
And we appreciate you, most importantly. I like to say here on Source Nation, we don't have interviews, we have conversations. So I'm ready to talk today.
Okay. All right.
Versus interviewing. Okay, Mr. Hankins, I just would like for you to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, like you said in my bio, I was born in a musical family. Grew up in church, and my grandmother was a gospel singer, and she led the choir, and she had a very big voice, and I think that kind of like spread down to us kids. My father, my uncles and aunts, they was all singers, gospel singers, and my father decided to be an R&B singer. He kind of broke the tradition, and so just growing up around music and just hearing different type of styles, and my father was more of a R&B singer, but he was a James Brown interpreter. He did a lot of James Brown songs, and he also did the splits. He did all that stuff, and he also played harmonica as well. And as they say, I got into the blues and the jazz. So it was just a wealth of just music and stuff, people and my uncles and aunts, and just listening to them. And so I started off singing. Me and my brother started singing, but I fell in love when I was in middle school. I saw this video clip of Louis Armstrong. I think teacher was playing that, and I just saw him play, and I said, "Wow, I want to do that. That's what I want to play." So I went home and told my mother. I said, "Hey, I want to join band. I want to play the trumpet." And she just kind of looked at me and said, "Trumpet? Why?" I said, "I don't know. I just want to play the trumpet." And she said, "Well, your uncle used to play the trumpet. I think it's still at your grandmother's somewhere under the bed somewhere." So couldn't wait to get down to my grandmother and got down there and looked on the bed, and there it was. He had an old trumpet there, and I just picked it up and just started blowing on it, see if I could make sound. And after that, it's been a love-hate relationship ever since. So it's been a journey, and so from the middle school and playing and being able to play professionally in different groups at a young age, I learned a lot, and I had big ears, and basically, I could hear things, I could play by ear, and also read. And, just one thing just kind of led to another, high school scholarships, touring with different people, and college, and more playing with other artists, on the road, and I ended up in the Air Force Jazz Band and playing for in the military, and from there, finishing my master's in education, and gone into teaching, and so my journey has just been constantly going, and I wouldn't say it's been straight. It's just been going. It may move to the left here a little bit, or it may move to the right a little bit, but my journey has just been going constantly, just with music, and so I spend pretty much over 20 years just in the education, teaching, and developing young students, the love of music as well. So I just been going, writing, composing, just playing with a lot of great people, being able to just to share the stage with some of these great artists. And so it's been a blessing. It's just been a blessing.
Yes. I love that, because when I was reading in your bio, I saw that you said that you had one particular teacher telling you that you would never amount to anything, and to see the man that you grew to be, and, you know, all the things that you accomplished and all the things that you've done. You got bachelor degrees in music performance, and you have a bachelor degree and master's degree in music education. It's just like it's all the way up for you. And I feel like, you know, that's very motivational. You know, telling a couple of other young kids that going through some things that, you know, feel like the sky is a limit. You can teach them that, you know, that the sky, there's no such thing as a limit with the sky, because there's people that got footprints on the moon. So it's no such thing as the sky is the limit.
Yes, that's true. That's actually correct. During that time, you know, growing up, you know, as a young African, you know, boy, you know, in the segregation, you know, place, and here are you, the first African, you know, student in your neighborhood to be bused somewhere in a different district and different school, and there's no one else looks like you, and so, you know, going through that time, it was pretty challenging, you know, especially, you know, I just had that teacher who just didn't know what to do with us, you know, and she just kept telling us every day, I mean, y'all not going to amount to anything, you know, go sit in the back, you know, blah, 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 you know. So that pretty much kind of stuck in my head for a long time. I was very motivated to prove her wrong and prove just about anybody who said I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. And so it's all, you know, it's been a challenge. You know, I found myself in situations where, you know, I may be the only African American in, you know, in that situation, but, you know, I just did what I needed to do, work hard and did the best I can and worked at it. And I constantly worked and I practiced. You know, I just told myself I want to be the best. And so, yeah, sky was the limit for me. You know, I just wasn't going to let anything stop me. I'm still doing what I need to do, you know, so it's just a lifelong journey.
Yeah, I love that, how you said that, you know, you had to keep practicing and stuff like that. You know, that's how you perfect your craft. You keep on practicing and keep on practicing the first time. If you don't get that note right the first time, you got to keep on trying until you get it right.
Yep, that's it. That is it. I did a lot of practicing time, and that goes by any artist. You know, they do put the time in, they pay the dues, and you know, you look for other teachers. You know, somebody can also, you know, take you to another level and give you, you know, more advice. And this is, you know, it's a constant learning thing here with music. You know, you never be satisfied. You know, I'm constantly never satisfied where I am. You know, there's always something new to learn. You know, to explore. So. That's what I do. I just got to keep going.
Yeah, and I've seen that you've encountered and performed with many great artists. I mean, I look on your track record and I'm like, wow, like all these legendary artists, like you've met them, you've been around them, and you perform with these numerous people. I saw in your bio that you performed with the OJs and the Temptations and Aretha Franklin and the Glenn Miller Big Band and Clark Terry and just so many people. What was that like for you? I know it was like, wow.
Yeah, there you go. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. And you know, once you're in that situation, it's just like, yeah, you kind of like starstruck. You just like, gosh, I can't believe I'm here. But you have to do your job. You have to play, you know. That's why they hire you, you know, to do the job. And so I try to focus on just doing the best I can, the job, the playing the horn, and not get so much caught up in the hype and you know, what's going on out in front, you know, when all the 1,000 people yelling and screaming. And, you know, you just have to stay focused there that you're there to do the job. And if you do the job well, you may get asked to come back, and that's what you want. You want to come back, you know, you want to keep coming back. So, it's very exciting and just a learning experience, you know, just to see what these major artists go through and what it takes to entertain. And it's not easy. It's not an easy job. And they're the greatest, you know, some of these artists I met are the most warm-hearted people. I mean, they would give their shirt off their back to help you. And that's something that most of their fans and other artists don't see, that other side, that, you know, they are really giving people and great people. So, yeah, it was awesome.
I can only imagine. I could only imagine. And you know I'm going to get to this particular question. How does it feel to be a 9 Independent Artist Music Award holder? What does it feel like?
Well, when I was participating in the Independent Music Channel Awards, they held it in California. They was going through all the categories and there's announcing names, and the category was very tough. I mean, you had so many great artists and been nominated, and so there's, you got to the jazz, you got to this section, and I was in there, but didn't win that category, and I'm saying, oh boy, well, here I go. And all of a sudden my name got called, and they just kept calling my name, I'm just in there, what in the world is going on, so it was very exciting to know that my music has been listened to by major producers and people who's in the business, who judge my music with others, out here. And so it was a great night. It was a great night. I will never forget.
I know you won't forget it. I know you won't. I mean, 9 awards. You're a bad man. 9 awards and 1 award show. Oh, my. And I was looking at the award that you received. It was like Best Instrumental Demo, Best Live Jazz Performance, Best Male R&B Artist, Best Soundtrack Song, Best Soundtrack Recording, Best World Music Artist, Best World Music Recording for Bali, for My Galley, Recording of the Year, Demo of the Year. I mean, like, you just broke all types of barriers at this point.
Yeah, I just kept looking at my wife. I said, "Is this really happening?" I couldn't believe it, and it was a great night. I was just basically speechless. All I could say is thank you and just move on. I was thanking God. This is all He's doing. So it's nice to have those accolades. The people can recognize what you have done, and it's great. Don't get me wrong. There's more that I'll try to achieve besides just awards, and it's great to have those things. But I just want to write good material, good music that people can enjoy and like, and to put in their car and shake their head and say, hey, I like that. So I'm always striving to hit a chord with somebody, and I realize I'm not, I'm not going to touch everyone, everyone's not going to like, what I've done, this, that, but, it's understandable, but, I just try to write some good material, good music that people really enjoy.
And obviously you've been doing that. Your work has spoken for itself. If you weren't impacting people and your music didn't stop people and make them listen, then you wouldn't have received such great awards and haven't got the recognition that you have gotten and received from people. I feel like your work is just impeccable. Like like I told you, when I was reading your bio, I was like, oh my, what an honor to just talk to you, because I saw the beginning of it. And I was reading where it was like, you had teachers telling you about, like I said earlier, about you'll never amount to anything. I find that so positive in an era where there's so much going on, and how you grew up in pretty much around the time where the civil rights movement was going on, and, racism and all that stuff, and with the things that's going on in Charlottesville, Virginia, and all around the globe at this point. I feel like it was such a necessary conversation for us to have, for me to make sure that you emphasize, how you kept climbing, not letting your obstacles stop you.
Right. Yeah. Well, definitely. It's been a journey. I would say it's been all roses. I had my pitfalls, and, there was times where, I just looked at the horn and just wanted to put it down and don't want to ever pick it up again. I just felt like, my music career would never take off, or no one would notice what I'm doing, So, you go through those peaks and valleys. And I think that's when you really, really, really find out about who you are and yourself and your faith, when you're in those valleys, when you those deep valleys, there's holes where you just feel like you're never going to come out of it. You just question yourself and everything you're doing, and and just losing confidence in yourself. But like I say, having a support system, having people around you to bring you out of it and to support you, it helps, especially, having a maid or my wife, she's been a very big supporter of what I have done in this music business, because music business can be your best friend and it can also be your worst enemy. And so, you know, you got to have that balance. You know, you got to make sure, you know, you keep your head straight and do what you need to do. Realize that, you know, you can be on top one minute, next minute, you know, you can be down. But it's just what, you know, how you handle those deep depressions. But I learned to come out of it, you know, and having my faith and realizing that, you know, if it was going to be easy, you know, I wouldn't be going through what I've been going through, you know, and I know it doesn't last long. We know the storms. We all have storms, but, you know, storms don't last long. And so you got to realize that, hey, you got to keep going through it, and you're going to come out better at the other end, you know, so.
I love that. I love that. And so that's going to be my next question for you. What inspiration did you have for the song Dreamcatcher? Before we play it, I would like for you to share something with us before we go into the song Dreamcatcher. What was, you know, what's your emotions during the time of doing that?
Well, you know, at that time when I was composing some of these songs, especially Dreamcatcher, you know, I wanted to come on from an ancestry of your Native American Indians, you know, and having that heritage, you know, I wanted to, you know, write something to honor, you know, that tradition. And down from my mother's side, you know, my grandmother, great-grandmother, you know, they are part of, you know, Indian heritage. So I just, you know, wanted to write something that, you know, that honored them. And Dreamcatcher, as we know, if you're not familiar with its symbol or the mother, you know, it's like, I'm trying to describe it here. Basically, you know, it's an octangle circle with sticks to cross, in the middle. And it usually is woven with wools or something like that. And also, you can hang it up. And if you're not familiar with a Dreamcatcher, you can Google it. You know, it can give you a better idea. And usually, it's the, you know, that's what it means. Dreamcatcher is basically to catch your dreams. You know, and I wanted to write something that you know, honor their heritage, and then something just kind of came to mind, and I just went with it, and that's how it came about.
Well, Source Nation, there you have it. The next song that you will be hearing is Mr. Sam Hankins' song Dreamcatcher. Enjoy. Nation, if you're just tuning in, I have Mr. Sam Hankins in the studio with me, who has been telling me about his journey throughout music, what trials and tribulations he has faced and overcame, why did he write certain songs, what was his inspirations, and much, much more. If you are just tuning in, we just played one of his songs, Dream Catcher. And if you would like to ask any questions, make any comments, just thank him for encouragement, anything that you would like to say, please don't hesitate to call in at 619-924-0933, and make sure you press the option 1. Source Nation, Sam Hankins in the building, and we're going to ask him a few more questions about a few more songs. This man has an amazing track record, and I'm astonished by all the great things that he has accomplished. And so we're going to go into his next song, Day Before Yesterday. Please tell us a little bit about what was your inspiration for this particular song and what thoughts and emotions you had during composing, this particular song.
Oh, sure. Well, Day Before Yesterday is one of the songs I featured a good friend of mine on the recording that played. And his name is Joel Del Vazio. Great guitar player, and I wanted to write a song that kind of featured him, nice and funky, nice and smooth, and like I said, you probably hear me back, and I am playing in the background, but I just wanted to kind of step back and just kind of featured him and on this particular tune, and it was a tune that usually how songs come to me, it may come to me when I'm sleeping or I'm dreaming, or somehow it just comes to me, and I just kind of get it out, start writing it out, and get to my keyboard and do what I need to do. But it was a nice groove, smooth, funky tune. I just wanted to write and feature him because phenomenal player, great player, and I just admire his playing. And we have done some stuff together once before, done some track. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this.
I hope you all enjoy this song. I love it personally. The Day Before Yesterday by Sam Hankins himself, playing live. Enjoy. Source Nation, we're back. You just heard the song Day Before Yesterday by Sam Hankins. Before I go any further with any other song, I couldn't help but realize how you were a band director, and I want you to tell us a little bit about how, working in, I see you used to work for Edson Middle School and a few other places, Rich East High School, and I just wondered, what was it like working with the kids and, working with middle school and high school students and the impact that you had on them?
Well, ever since I got out of the military and I went back to school to finish my master's and trying to decide, what direction I wanted to go. And when I was in the military, we used to play at a lot of schools for concerts, different places, and for some reason when we played these schools, I would find myself walking into the band room and just sit there and listen to the director when they go to rehearsals. And this is, a lot of places we have traveled and played, I would just go, I would go find a band room. So I didn't know I was itching to become a director at the time, but it was a pull. And I was just talking to some of the directors and about what they go through and how they, they work their ensemble. I think I had one director kind of looked at me and said, "Are you looking to become a band director?" And he said, "Man, I want to do what you do." I said, "Well, I don't know. I'm just asking questions." And so I think when I got out of the military, I, went back to school and then I decided, well, I think I just get my education just in case I wanted to do something in education. So once I finished up, I did get a job, at Edison Middle School and it was a wonderful journey there, teaching middle school kids and teaching them how to play instruments and just building the program where it was like number one in the state and in middle school and just seeing the kids grow and it's just been a great experience always, as teaching. So I just fell in love with teaching but I was constantly playing, I just wanted to be that example that, because you're a band director doesn't mean you stop playing. This is what I do on the side and this is what I enjoy playing, performing, this is what happens if you continue practicing. And so I try to be an example, to my students. So from Edison, I took a international job teaching in Bermuda for 2 years, teaching a band program over there. And I did my international Peace Corps, that you can say, job there. And I came back and I was teaching in another high school in Salem, Oregon, and did that. And then we ended up moving back here to Chicago, where I started teaching middle school. And now where I am right now, I'm at Richie's High School. So I've been teaching about over 20 years, 20 years plus, and I've just been enjoying it, just enjoy teaching the kids.
Yeah, and I see that you accomplished a lot of stuff while you were doing that, also being a teacher at middle school. I see that you received numerous teaching awards. And also I saw that you received a White House letter recognizing Edson Middle School band program signed by Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that was a shocker. I wasn't expecting that. It came in the mail, so I think somebody brought it to me. I just wasn't expecting that one. And, just being fortunate to receive an award like that and also receiving the Golden Apple Award during that time. And it was a great experience, teaching there at Edison.
I see. And I also see that you're also an adjunct music professor at South Southern College.
Yes, yeah. You can tell I'm burning all candles from every which way. It's just like
middle school all the way to college students.
Yeah, there you go. Middle school, high school, and teaching college, and it's great. Just being having the chance to be in front of these students and just trying to make great music and just trying to share what I have learned. And so just keep doing what I got to do.
And you keep on doing what you got to do because you've done great things. I was also looking, and I was saying how I liked how it connected the dots to how you worked at the middle school and the high school and the college, because it also shows the other music students that you have that, there's no limits to your music. It is not for a certain age group. You can make it for all age groups, and you can make it relatable to all people. And so I like that, you know, I'm sure you probably incorporate that to let them know that, you know, it's so much more. Music is so broad these days. Like, there's so much that you can do, especially with jazz. I personally love jazz because it's something that makes you relax, and it kind of, you know, you let your hair down and you can just go by the waterfront or wherever you want to go and just listen to jazz. And it's one of those soothing musics that music genres that I just enjoy.
Yeah, I love just pretty much all types of styles of music. You know, I grew up playing classical. I love classical music as well as jazz and R&B and, you know, even the international music. You know, this different cultures music. And, you know, I have appreciation for, you know, this music around. You know, music makes the world go round. It's a great international communicator.
It does, and I think that, you know, if you are working at in a business or wherever you're working at, I think that, you know, one of the group trips that you could take would be like, okay, let's go listen to some jazz, or we can go listen to this type of music or whatever and whatever. I think that music sets the mood.
Right. Oh, I agree. I
know,
agree.
Whether you're in a church or you're at a bar or a grill or wherever you're at, I feel like music always sets the tone, you know, for the people and the mood for the people.
Oh, I agree. Definitely agree.
Yes. So now we're going to go into another song by you. I feel it on the back of my neck. Tell me something about that you want the people to know.
Well, it's a tongue-in-cheek. You know, when I was composing this particular piece, the groove was just really heavy. It was just really, you know, it was just, my neck was just moving back and forth. You know, it's just like, man, I'm beginning to feel this on the back of my neck. And it's like, hey, that'd be a great title. You know, and so I think that it basically just kind of came about. It's just, I was just moving my neck so much and it was hurting. And I just like the groove. And it's a good piece for you to really sit back and feel it on the back of your neck.
You heard it from Sam Hankins himself. He wants you to feel this on the back of your neck. Source Nation, here you are listening to I Feel It on the Back of My Neck. Enjoy. Source Nation, we're back again with Mr. Hankins himself in the studio with me. I feel it on the back of my neck now. I'm starting to feel what you said. That I'm going to start, every time I get an inspiration, I'm going to be like, I feel that on the back of my neck.
Well, there you go. It'd be a nice T-shirt slogan. Yeah, it'd be real nice there. There you go.
Yeah, some people will say, some people's catchy slogan is like, oh, the light bulb just went off.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I feel it on the back of my neck more.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
I feel it on the back of my neck. I really like that. Before we go into the song "Do That Thing,"
mm-hmm.
which is the last song that we're going to be playing on Indie Soul Saturday, I see in May 2012 you laid the groundwork for "Nothing Between Us." Can you tell us a little bit about "Nothing Between Us" and that music process? To how did it lead up to your most recent, latest CD, "Do That Thing"?
Well, that project pretty much came through when I was in those valleys, those deep, deep valleys. It was a time where I did not know where I was going to go, what I was going to do. Me and my wife, after I moved back from Salem, Oregon at that time, my wife got a job back in Chicago, but I couldn't find any work. So, I pretty much went into a really, really deep depression. And I just, trying to find work, even just playing wise, coming back to Chicago. Once I had a lot of work, and once you leave, you just like, if you're gone for at least 2, 5, 6, 7, almost 10 years, and you try to come back, it's like starting all over again. So when I came back here, it was a little tough. We're going through a lot of changes, and not knowing where we're going to be sleeping, and trying to find a place to stay. And so, we found a place, found an apartment that we stayed in, and my wife went to work, and she just looked at me and said, why don't you get back to writing? You say you used to write. Why don't you get back? And I just kind of looked at her. I said, I just didn't have the strength, or I just didn't want to do anything. I just basically just want to sit there and wallow in my pity. But I know she was trying to get me out of it, and I said, okay then. So she went to work, and I'm there in the apartment looking at the four walls, and so I said, well, let me see if I can put something down. And I put one song down, and I looked up. It was 5 o'clock or something. She come in. I think I completed about 5 or 6 songs, and it just kept coming. And I played them to her, and she said, "Whoa, where'd that come from?" I said, "I don't know." She went to work the next day. I got up early, and I started writing, and I kept writing. By the 6th time she came home, I had like about 8 songs written.
Wow.
So it kept going like that for, I would say, a good month. I was just turning out songs. And I think I was completing like over 150 songs. And she just like, okay, now that you did all this, what are you going to do with them? I said, that's a good question. I have no idea. So I decided to introduce myself on Facebook, and I completed, my first CD of combination of different songs and different styles. And I put out my first CD called Dreamcatcher. And that's why I took one of the songs from the Dreamcatcher. So, I put it out on, the various, outlets, CD Baby and stuff like that, and kind of introduced myself to Facebook. And like that, at the time, nobody knew of me. So it just took time for people to, make comments, on the CD. They said, hey, they liked it. But they said, aren't you a trumpet player? But you're not playing on it. We don't hear any trumpet. It's just, and at that time, I wanted to, my idol was Quincy Jones. I wanted to write music and be like a producer, be like Quincy Jones, write music for other people. So that's what I was doing. I had music, pretty much geared for other people in different genres. And so, and I said, well, okay, all right. I guess the next project I will play on. And so basically that's how Nothing Between Us came about, is because the fans wanted me to play. And so I came up, certain songs and the songs that I'd written, and I kind of went back and, got in the studio and get things, cleaned up, taken care of. And I think I have about 10 or 12 tracks or something like that. And So I put out Nothing Between Us, and it pretty much hit. It just went straight up. I mean, people start buying it.
Definitely did.
And they start, it started winning awards, and all of a sudden my name started coming around. People start noticing who I am, and I'm just like blown. I'm just like, wow, I can't believe this is happening, and so I think Nothing Between Us, I think I put that out in 2012, and it lasted up to 2015. It's a good 3-4 years. I mean, it had a good life, and so after I completed that, I said, well, what's my next project going to be? And so I sat down and I wanted to do a song that trumpet player that I really admire, and that's Tom Brown. And I love, when he came out with Funk in Jamaica, and I love all the songs. I love his playing, so I wanted to come up with a song, nothing like Funkin' for Jamaica, but something similar on that realm, but on my own twist, I added my own little style. So I thought about, hey, what about, having a nice little house party? Everybody's enjoying themselves and enjoying the music. So that was my premise of starting Do That Thing. And so that's how it basically came about, just coming up with ideas and having that house party theme in my head. And I wanted to at least, do something that same premise of Fucking for Jamaica, but, put my own little twist to it. And that's how it came about. And the other songs, I started adding onto it, and just different genres and different styles. And the CD is just doing very well. And like I say, people say, well, what's your next project going to be?
I'm waiting.
I'm just like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? But I got some songs in mind. I mean, I got songs that I'm working on right now in the studio, but I want to at least give Do That Thing, some breathing room, let it grow and blossom, and get out to certain people, and before I start putting out this next project, and so I just got to step it up each time. I'm trying to come up with different styles and sounds and grooves. So that's where I am right now. That's how basically Nothing Between Us came about, and how that led into Do That Thing.
Great. And I saw that, all of your CDs did excellent. I mean, you got lots of radio play all over the U.S. and around the world. I mean, you have won over 25 independent music awards and just by yourself. And I also saw that you wrote a Christmas CD. That also was a collaboration with David McClellan.
Yeah. We just we've done some single tracks together. We just really work well together. We call each other up and say, okay, I got this idea. This is what I got here. Take a listen to this track, and what do you think? And you say, I like that. Let me add this on there. And you set it back, and that sounds good. Let me add this on there. And so eventually, we just kept making tracks together. I said, you know what? Why don't we make a Christmas CD, together? And so that's basically how that came about. At least we have something we can play seasonal. Have something out there, and so it got good reviews as well. They got the good combination and the things that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm like I say, I'm burning candles every which way. I'm burning candles.
Oh yes, you are, and I know that if nobody else is, I know for a fact that I'm waiting on the next music. So I know a lot of people are waiting on your other album to drop whenever it comes out. I'm excited. Well,
thank you. It's just trying to get the guys together. I say, okay, here we go. This is your part. Let's do this. Let's lay this down and let's get this together. But yeah, I definitely got ideas, and but it will happen. Everything happens in a certain time. And the time it would be right. It'll definitely come. It'll definitely come.
I like how you emphasize that. The timing will be right, and when the timing does become right, you got to do that thing. And with that being said, we're going to go right into your song by Sam Hankins himself, Do That Thing.
Hey, look who is.
Hey, my man Jules.
Hey, Sam, my brother. Come on in. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
Say, everybody, Sam is here.
Hey, everyone.
Brother, I heard about that new single. Wow.
Thanks, brother.
Hey, you have your on?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me hear you do that thing. Get down like you know. Feeling this groove, it will make you move. So I hope that you bought those dancing shoes. Let's be cool, have a dance with Jules. House party joy, we know those rules. Having fun, believe that's my mission. And this that sound that you love to rock with you. Thing now. Do that thing now. Thing now. Do that thing now. Do that thing. Do that thing. Do that thing. Do that thing now. I'm blowing like a horn, held together like cob and some corn. How you doing? Opportunity is knocking at the door. Life is a party, I'm rocking on the floor. Speakers on high, pumping bass to the ceiling. Guess I just love this wonderful feeling. Smooth criminal, white glove with the warmth. Dance more incredible, feeling like the hump. Part of my vibe, I'm living in the moment. Me and my team, our brothers like the Jonas. Never shut down, we don't want no trouble. Fast and after spot, we going for a double. We're going out prepared for elevation. Whole block party, all homes adjacent. I wanna thank you all for being so patient. And my gift to you is a funky celebration. Do that thing. Do that thing. Do that thing. Do that thing now.
Source Nation, we are back, and you are listening to Indie Soul Saturdays with your host, Destiny Hicks, and a special guest this afternoon, Sam Hankins himself. We have listened to a great amount of his music on today, and we got to hear his story and his journey and all the great things that he has done. But we are running out of time, and before I do close, I would like to give you an opportunity, Mr. Sam, to share some encouraging words, say something that you didn't say earlier, whatever that you would like to leave with Source Nation before we close. If you would like to give them any contact information, whatever it is.
Well, sure. Thank you, Roy. But thank you for the opportunity. And like I say, if you'd like to find out more about me or hear my material, I do have a website. You can go to www.samhankinsmusic.com. And also there's a comment bar there if you don't like to get in contact with me. Or you can, find me on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter. Like I said, I'll be happy to speak with you or comment or, text you. Just let you know, where I'm playing, stuff like that. But what I can say, leaving this and this, it's been an honor, being on the show and be able to speak with you and just to have the opportunity to have my music being heard by so many people and in your audience as well. My encouraging words is never give up. Never give up. Never give up. I know it seems small, but it seems simple, but it's very, very powerful. And that's something, I've been told by so many people who's in this business and people who are definitely behind me and pushing me. They just say never give up. Every day you got to keep trying. You got to keep trying. You got to keep moving. And I used to tell my students with this analogy sometimes that, as you know, sharks is constantly moving. If they stop moving, they're going to die. So sharks is constantly moving. The more you keep moving, you're going to stay alive. You stop, you're going to die. And you don't want that. You want to keep moving. So every day you got to do something that's going to be worthwhile for you. If each day, even, just holding the door open for somebody, doing something nice. You got to keep moving, doing something that's worthwhile for you, and just keep working on your craft. Everybody has their own way of coping mechanism, how to do certain things, they get through certain things. But I encourage anyone out here, just never give up. Never give up.
You heard it from Sam Hankins himself. Never give up. Mr. Sam, I just want to thank you so much for being a part of the show on this Saturday, and we look forward to having you back in the future. Source Nation, that was Sam Hankins, and he is truly doing some amazing things. Be sure to visit his website, check him out on Facebook, keep up with his music and all that he is doing. Source Nation, we'd just like to thank you for listening on this afternoon and listening to the music and enjoying the vibes and everything, the other tones and the moods that we have set on this afternoon. Mr. Hankins, we'd love to have you back very, very soon with your new music. I'm speaking in existence already.
Well, I will definitely be back there for you. I'll definitely be back. But hey, I just want to appreciate you for having me, and just thank you. You've really been a blessing. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Before we close out this afternoon, let me thank our sponsors once again who made this show possible. Selena Health, Wellness, and Fitness, Paper 2 Film Productions, Revolution Meals, and Renovations. Source Nation, there you have it, Indie Soul Saturdays, with your host, Destiny Hicks. May God be with you, and keep the faith. And just like Mr. Hankins said himself, never give up.
Get at me for beats, y'all.